Two people have died after a plane struck a ground vehicle at Hong Kong International Airport. According to news outlets, the Boeing 747 from Dubai veered off the runway after striking a car on the tarmac as it attempted to land before plunging into the sea. Vision shows the plane in the water with its tail snapped off. All four of the flight's crew members escaped unharmed and have been taken to hospital for assessment. Joining me live is Sky News aviation expert Captain Byron Bailey. Thank you for your time. What from you've read so far do you believe has happened here?
Good day, Tom. Yeah, look, at first it appeared, and I looked at the map, that they had struck a vehicle halfway down the runway. But that later news appears that may not be the case. When you land one of these 300-plus big cargo aeroplanes, you're landing at about 270 kilometres an hour, and you need about 3,000 metres to stop. That's a 4,000 long metre runway, that northern runway. I've landed on it a few times. And once you touch down and the lift up deploys and the auto brakes come on and then you have reverse thrust, you're committed. There's nothing you can do. You can't abort the landing. It's too late. And if you see a vehicle on the runway ahead of you, there's nothing you can do. But later news suggests that they lost control about halfway down the runway and veered off and went through a fence and hit a vehicle. What you do is you keep straight aerodynamically with rudder down to about 100 kilometres an hour towards the end of the landing roll, and then you switch to nose wheel steering. So something has happened. This is going to be very interesting. It appears when they switched over to nose wheel steering, where you steer it with a steering wheel with your left hand, like you would drive a car, that they appear to have lost control. I'm still waiting to see if there was a strong crosswind or something like that. But the crew, it was 3:50 in the morning, night flight from somewhere. They might have been fatigued. Really, there's a lot of factors that could have gone into this particular crash. So it's going to be very interesting. Okay,
and this is just sort of recollection for me, but I feel as though we see a few more cargo planes in terms of things going wrong. Is it a weight issue? You mentioned the early hours, I suppose they normally fly at. Is that accurate, or is that just perception?
No, that's accurate. These cargo planes tend to operate right through the night. Passengers don't like flying so much at night. But, yeah, cargo, these old 747s, once they retire, and it's a Turkish airline aircraft with the Turkish crew that was doing a cargo flight for Emirates. And when you're carrying cargo, and I did this years ago, you're generally landing, taking off a maximum takeoff weight, landing at your maximum takeoff, landing at maximum landing weight. It means you're touching down at about 270 kilometres an hour, and you're operating right on the limit in terms of brakes and wheels and, perhaps a tyre blew. We don't know. It's going to be very, very interesting. But, yeah, hauling cargo is not the most pleasant sort of thing to be doing.
The other thing, and this is sort of an amateur talking to the expert, I always notice a lot of water around airports. I'm assuming that if the worst goes wrong, a plane at least stops in water. It doesn't go into an airport itself or the surrounding suburbs. Is that a requirement in some countries? Is that standard to have bodies of water around to, if the worst case scenario happens, to stop planes?
No. I was flying in the old Kai Tak Hong Kong airport a lot in the wide-body Airbus, and I flew into this the new airport 27 years ago. It was open, fantastic big airport, 2 parallel runways separated by several kilometres. Wonderful airport, and you just have off to the side water. It's just as a fact that it was built on an island. So, but the fact that you end up in the water is probably better than sort of hitting buildings or, as other objects where you might just break up the aeroplane and catch fire. So it's sad that the ground crew or the people, 2 people in a car apparently might have been squashed by the airplane. My feeling at the moment is the crew lost control towards the end of the landing roll because the map shows they veered off halfway down the 4,000 metre long runway. It must have been towards the end of the landing roll when they were switching over to nose wheel steering from aerodynamic steering, which you do with the rudder at higher speed.
Yeah, no, it's a good point around, sad ending it appears for those two that were on the runway. Byron Bailey, appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Anytime, Tom. Thank you.